The message came through at 9:42 p.m., the night before Christmas Eve. "Stay away this Christmas, Aubrey. The family's had enough of you." I stared at it for a long time, watching the words burn through the dim light of my phone screen like a match pressed against my skin. My father never used to text like that, not before my mother died, not before everything fell apart. He was the kind of man who'd yell before he typed. The kind of man whose silence all meant sigh who yell worse. Was coming. I should have seen it coming, the distance, the sidelong glances at Thanksgiving, the way my stepmother Denise smiled at me like I was a stain she couldn't scrub out. Still, I didn't expect him to disown me over text. The message was short, brutal, and final. I typed and deleted responses over and over. Why? What did I do? Please, just talk to me. Then I stopped. My thumb hovered over the screen, but I didn't send anything, because I knew. It started last summer when my father remarried. Denise, younger than him by 15 years, all polished smiles and perfume that smelled like money. She moved into our family house within weeks, rearranging everything. My mother's photos, her old books, even her ashes on the mantel. "You should move on too, Aubrey," she'd said, her voice honeyed and sharp. "Clinging to the past only makes people miserable." She said people, but she meant me. And then there was my brother Nathan, the golden boy, the favorite, the one who stayed when I left, when I tried to tell him something was wrong, that Denise had been forging signatures, selling off my mother's jewelry, whispering things into Dad's ear. He called me jealous. "Dad's happy for the first time in years," he'd snapped. "Why can't you just be happy for him?" Because I'd seen the bank statements, because I'd seen Denise slip something into his glass more than once, because I knew my father was being poisoned slowly, not just by her words, but by her ambition. But no one listens to the daughter who moved out, the black sheep, the one who can't let go. So I left. I tried to build a life in the city, away from the ghosts of that house. But the call came 3 months later. My father was in the hospital. Heart failure, they said. He survived, barely. Denise told everyone it was stress. I told her I knew what she was doing. I confronted her right in that sterile hallway outside his room. She didn't deny it. She smiled. "You think you're the only one who deserves his love?" she whispered, close enough that her breath brushed my cheek. "You're just a reminder of his mistakes. I'm the one he chose to keep." I slapped her. Hard. The nurses saw. She wept like the victim she was pretending to be. That was the night my father turned on me. "Aubrey," he said, "I can't believe you'd breaking. You can't believe you'd do this. She's been nothing but good to us." Us, he meant him. And Nathan, not me, never me. So when that text came, "Stay away this Christmas," I knew it wasn't really him, it was her. Her words typed with his phone. But what she didn't know was that I'd been waiting. Watching. I'd hired a private investigator 3 months earlier after I saw the forged draft on her laptop during a family visit. He'd found more bank transfers, offshore accounts, and a lawyer in the Caymans who had been promised a fortune once my father's estate was finalized. I didn't tell anyone. Not yet. Revenge, real revenge, has to be patient. So I waited until Christmas Eve. The night the family always gathered. The night Denise loved to host. I parked down the street from the house I grew up in, snow falling soft and silent, my heart thudding like a drum. From the window I could see the warm light flickering through the curtains, silhouettes moving, laughing, drinking. My father's shape slouched near the fireplace. It should have been me there beside him. But tonight, I wasn't coming as a daughter. I was coming as a ghost with evidence. When the clock hit 8:15, I rang the bell. Denise opened the door. The shock on her face was pure theater. "Aubrey," she gasped. "Didn't you get your father's message?" I smiled, slow and cold. "I did. That's why I came." Her hand trembled slightly as she blocked the doorway. "This isn't the time." My father's voice floated from inside. "Who is it, honey?" "Honey." God, it made me sick. Before she could stop me, I stepped past her. The room went silent. Every head turned. Nathan stood near the Christmas tree, his wife clutching his arm. My father's eyes widened when he saw me. guilt, confusion, and something like fear flashing across his face. "Aubrey," he said softly. "Why are you here?" I held up a flash drive. "Because I think you deserve to know what your loving wife's been up to." Denise lunged for me, but Nathan grabbed her. "What are you talking about?" he demanded. I walked over to the TV, plugged in the drive, and hit play. Bank statements, voice recordings, emails, Denise's voice laughing with her lawyer, plans of moving to Mexico, discussions about the will and how. The old man doesn't have much time. The room filled with her own words, her own trap. "No, this is fake," she screamed. "She's lying." But my father wasn't listening. He was staring at the screen, his face crumpling. His hands shook as he turned toward her. "Denise," he whispered. "Tell me this isn't true." She froze. And then, like all snakes cornered, she struck. "You think she did this for you?" She spat. "She did it because she wanted you to herself. She's obsessed. She never grew up, never moved on." My father's hand slammed against the table. "Enough." The room went dead quiet. He looked at me, tears burning in his eyes. "Aubrey, I'm sorry. I should have listened to you." For the first time in years, he sounded like my dad again. Police sirens wailed outside minutes later. I'd sent the files to them too, time to arrive, right as I rang the doorbell. They took Denise away in handcuffs while she screamed threats and curses, her face red with rage. "You think you've won?" she shouted as they dragged her out. "You're just like your mother, weak." I stepped outside, snow catching in my hair, and met her eyes one last time. "No," I said quietly. "I'm stronger." When they drove her away, I turned back to the house. My father was standing in the doorway, the glow of Christmas lights flickering behind him. "I don't deserve your forgiveness," he said. I nodded. "No, but you can earn it." He reached out, hesitated, then pulled me into a trembling hug. For a long time, we just stood there, the snow falling between us like ash in absolution. Later that night, as I left, I glanced once more through the window. My father sat in his chair, staring at the tree. Nathan knelt beside him, shoulders shaking. Maybe, for once, they finally saw who I was. Not the broken one, not the jealous one, but the one who had always told the truth. As I drove away, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. "You think it's over?" I smiled, cold and steady, because I'd already traced the call. Denise's lawyer, the one she'd promised money to. I'd sent his files too. By morning, every account would be frozen, every trace of their plan, gone. This Christmas, I didn't need gifts, I had justice, and for the first time in years I felt my mother beside me in the quiet hum of the engine, whispering, "You did it, baby. You brought him home." The snow swallowed the road ahead, clean and endless, and I drove into it, finally, free.